unity, and strength. These are all things that the honeybee symbolizes. I'm sure you've all been stung by a bee or even pestered by a bee, and as it's hovering around you, you wonder, what's it even doing here? Like, what's its purpose? Its purpose can be summed up in one word: pollination. Since I was little, I've always been curious about the bee. I've always wondered the same thing, like, why is it here? I've read many books and watched many videos on the honeybee, and I can honestly say that they provide more to us than just honey. Honeybees are crucial to our survival, and they provide more in our lives than we think. To explain the part of the honeybee, I will use 3 main points: what the honeybees do, how we benefit from them, and my third point is how life without honeybees would be. Okay, now to my first point: what honeybees do. Of course, you all know that honeybees make honey. But bees are much more complicated than that. They're a society. They depend on each other to survive. One honeybee cannot live alone. Bees work hard to pick a home suitable for their needs. As the book Honeybee Democracy, written by Thomas S. Seeley in 2010, describes, that tree cavities are crucial to the honeybee home. Honeybees need a tree that's going to provide cavities that protect them against harsh weather and predators. And so it's not like the honeybee goes and picks the first house they see, or the first tree they see, and say, oh, this one's pretty, it smells nice, I'm going to live in it. They look for things like the cavity volume of the tree, the entrance height, the entrance size, and what previous colonies lived there. They're picky like us when they pick a house. Now to explain the most important thing they do: pollinate. As described in the 2009 documentary, Colony, the job of the bee is to take pollen and put it into the, take pollen from the pistil of the plant and bring it to the stamen of the plant. What happens is, as the bee is rummaging through the plant, the pollen gets attached to its sticky, hairy body. So, as it goes from plant to plant, it's bringing the pollen. In more relatable terms, the pistil is the female part, the stamen is the male part, and the pollen is the sperm. So the bee is actually fertilizing everything, and that makes a seed. Bees do what the wind can't do. So this brings me to my next point. Now that you're all aware of what bees do, I will explain how we benefit from them. In the 2010 documentary, Queen of the Sun, Michael Pollan, a journalist, explains that 40% of our food comes from honeybees. So that makes 4 out of 10 things that we eat at dinner that are from the honeybee. The American Beekeeping Federation says that apples, cranberries, melons, broccoli, alfalfa, apricots, pears, pumpkins, and many more are pollinated by bees. Crops such as blueberries and cherries are 90% dependent on honeybees. And almonds can only be pollinated by the honeybee. They depend, without honeybees, there would be no almonds. And now honey. Honey is another way we benefit. Dr. Reese Halters, who wrote the book Incomparable Honeybee, explains that hydrogen peroxide, the high amounts of hydrogen peroxide and glucose oxide make for a perfect antiseptic. Also, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, iron, copper, magnesium, and sulfur are minerals that make its texture heavy, and which mimics blood serum. So this helps metabolism, and it makes for a perfect source of caloric energy. Honey also never spoils. So when there's a zombie apocalypse and we have no food to eat, we can count on honey. My third point. Now that you've learned how we benefit from honeybees, I will talk about we want more than wheat, oat, corn, and just simple grains, we need the honeybee. That's a less than nutritional and unbalanced diet. And honestly, it sounds very bland and just not very good to me. Also, in the book Dancing Bees by zoologist Carl Van Versch, explains that even though honeybees, there is other insects that can pollinate, honeybees are the most important. There's bumblebees, butterflies, beetles, hawk moths, and flies that can pollinate. But bees are the most important because there's a large group of them, there's a lot of them. Their diligence when they get nectar, and because they have the perfect anatomy for collecting pollen. Most importantly, there would be no fields of flowers for us to frolic in. Now that I've explained my 3 points, I will conclude. I explained to you what bees do, how we benefit from them, and how life without honeybees would be. I hope you all see that bees are a crucial part of our lives and they benefit us every day. I hope that you learned what you didn't know about them before and that you remember that next time you see a bee, you realize how important it is in our lives. Thank you.